10 years ago, on what was supposed to be a normal Tuesday morning filled with overpriced coffee and Instagram influencers posing on crosswalks, a pitch-black 99-floor tower photobombed the skyline of Gangnam. And not just Gangnam, no sir, 100 of these Gothic obelisks gate-crashed cities all around the world like they had RSVP'd to the apocalypse. Governments, military experts, and confused scientists all gathered around the towers to poke, prod, and probably whisper sweet nothings to them. But the only conclusion they reached was, it's 990 meters tall and it laughs at your nukes. Yep, they tried nukes. The tower didn't even flinch. Then, in true horror movie fashion, people just started walking out of the walls of the tower. Not through doors, no, through walls. Like ghosts. Or overly dramatic theater majors. Naturally, reporters swarmed like bees at a barbecue, snapping pictures and yelling questions like, "How did you get inside?" Meanwhile, the poor guy being questioned looked like he just woke up from a coma inside a horror escape room. Still dazed, the guy replied, I was just minding my business when a black hole yeeted me into the tower and bam, I woke up on the first floor. Classic Tuesday stuff, really. Cue the media frenzy. Headlines blew up. First generation of the awakened, trended worldwide. Google searches for Black Tower overtook K-pop scandals, and TikTok was flooded with tower theories and thirst traps of adventurers. At a dramatic press conference, a serious-looking man flanked by a stoic guy and a suspiciously glamorous blonde declared, all 100 towers are actually one tower. Everyone starts at floor 1, chooses a class, mage or warrior, and floor 2, surprise, it's monster time. He held up a shiny, sparkly golden ticket like he just won Willy Wonka's murder dungeon and said, every time we clear a floor, we get rewards. Sometimes even this. A reporter squinted and asked, what's that? Pointing at the glitter bomb of a ticket like it was the holy grail of capitalism. With a smug grin, the man replied, this ticket lets normal folks enter the tower. Us awakened can come and go, but regular people, you need this golden miracle. Still, only the chosen ones can actually climb. Then another reporter asked the question on everyone's mind. Wait, monsters? Scary death tower? Why would anyone want to go in? The man answered coolly, we don't know why the towers appeared, but... He gave a subtle nod, and Blonde McBlondie whipped out a chest like she was about to perform a magic trick. Spoiler alert, she was. The chest opened with the drama of a reality show finale and sploosh, a tsunami of gold coins and jewels poured out like Scrooge McDuck's wet dream. Reporters collectively lost their minds. Not only was it sparkly, it came out of a chest that was the size of a shoebox. Physics? Dead. As everyone gasped at the treasure cascade, the man pointed upward toward the ominous tower looming in the background and proclaimed, but one thing's for sure, climbing the tower gives you an enormous award. Cut to breaking news. On the Nothing phone, probably the Plus Ultra edition, the Weekend Association just announced that ticket prices were skyrocketing from 100 million won to 200 million. And yet people were lining up like it was Black Friday. At a local Walmart clone where even eggs now cost a kidney, our soon-to-be hero Park Sejin was trying to check out, but the old lady cashier was too busy watching the ticket news on her phone, slack-jawed. Without breaking eye contact with her screen, she muttered, the world's gone nuts. Then, bagging the groceries like it was a funeral, she grumbled, 200 million just to risk your life in a monster-infested tower? Ain't that rich? Sejin gave the international awkward laugh of the broke. Ha, ha. Yeah. Meet Park Sejin. Age 26. Financial status. Please don't ask. He was scrolling on his Nothing phone, yup, still functioning in the apocalypse, bless budget tech, checking his balance. Okay, after tuition loans, rent, interest, and emotional damage, I've got, 12 million saved? Climbing some stairs probably to his sad studio apartment, he sighed. And if prices keep rising, I won't even be able to afford failure. Holding his bargain bin groceries like they were treasure, he groaned, sigh. When will I be able to buy a ticket? But then he looked up at the tower on the horizon, eyes narrowing. Wait, the real question is, will I ever be able to buy it? He slumped like a wilting salad. Ugh! This is so draining! Suddenly, His eyes lit up like a gotcha pull gone right. No, Park Sejun, don't give up now. Keep that spirit up. There's gotta be a way to save more. Looking down at his discount veggies, he suddenly had an epiphany. Wait, I bought these dirt cheap. What if I grow them? He was about to turn farming into a financial strategy. Cut to dream sequence. His idol, the Moonlight Fairy Sarah, holding a home gardening kit in a commercial like, grow veggies, save money, be hot. Sparkles optional. Sejun's resolve flared like anime flames. If I save up enough, maybe I can buy a ticket, join a guild. Flash forward. Fantasy sequence of him down on one knee. Sarah, I may be a tower climbing debt collector, but I want to be more than a fan. I want to be your partner. Cue awkward, slightly creepy giggle as he hyped himself up with the enthusiasm of a caffeinated squirrel. Behind him, reality decided to get weird. A black hole started forming. He paused, sniffed the air like something smelled mysteriously dimensional. Wait, what is that? He turned around and saw it. The swirling vortex of destiny. It's vanishing. The very phenomenon that sucked in the first generation. With his eyes sparkling like a shonen protagonist, he shouted, "Is it gonna take me? Let's go!" He screamed to the skies. I, Park Sejun, am ready to risk it all. Tower, suck me in! Then the black hole began to shrink, like a shy date ghosting him mid-conversation. Wait, hey, are you getting smaller? Take me right now! He panicked, lunged forward. No, I'm not letting this chance slip away. Arm outstretched, he jumped with the grace of a budget superhero. I'm going to the tower! And then, splat. He landed headfirst on stone. Gravity, undefeated. His groceries scattered like tragic confetti. Ouch. Ow, my face. Still. Face down, he groaned. Did I make it? Then he popped up like toast. Fancy chandeliers, marble floors, potions, treasures. Wait, what? He looked around and saw a rock. A single rock platform in the middle of a stone cave. No chandeliers, no loot, no Sarah. He stood in stunned silence. Brain.exe had stopped working. Looking up at the hole he came through, he muttered, what is this? Hand on his head, dazed and disappointed, he added, what the hell? Where the hell? The camera zoomed out to show him tiny at the bottom of a massive, hollow space. Where the hell? Meanwhile, somewhere majestic and suspiciously budget-friendly, a castle loomed in a beautiful yet isolated location. Inside, an orb began to glow, and a mysterious creature's back faced the light. Clearly evil. Probably doesn't tip at restaurants. A growl, the beast spoke. The crystal ball sensed a change in the tower. Its eyes flared like someone just spoiled their favorite anime. I must find the cause. The camera returned to Sejun, still holding his head, still deeply confused. On YouTube, a video titled, What Kind of Place is the Black Tower plays, with a cute adventurer girl striking a pose and explaining that it's a very spacious and shiny place, with a whopping 1.6 million views, hoping I could get the same. By the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, don't be shy. Support the channel by hitting the subscribe and like button. The girl adds, there are a lot of different items in the tower you can buy. Most of the time I buy potions. Looks like this video is really pulling in the views. Next, we see a veteran adventurer lounging on a couch, legs crossed, weapon casually strapped to his side, talking about the importance of the first floor's training ground. If you want to survive in the tower, you need to be strong enough to fight the monsters, he advises. Sounds like solid survival advice for those brave enough to venture in. Cut to Sejun, the protagonist, who's now standing near a tranquil pond with crystal clear blue water, surrounded by jagged rock formations. This peaceful spot feels like the calm before the storm, or maybe a metaphor for his confusing situation. A bright, clear sky peeks through the cave's opening. The contrast with the previous interview couldn't be starker. Sejun's situation is definitely not like the veteran adventurers. No training ground or store here, just pure isolation. Sejun sits on a rock, looking totally defeated. His expression says it all. He's lost, confused, and, well, not exactly thrilled with how things are going. At least he has his bag of groceries by his side, small comforts in a giant mess. Sejun, his face blank and exhausted, mutters, "No exit. I roamed this cave for a whole day, but I didn't see any exit, no training ground, no store, nothing." The reality of his situation is hitting him hard. Frustration creeping in, Sejun places a hand on his head, struggling to keep his sanity. I've screamed asking for help, but there's no one around. A sinking feeling takes over as he realizes he's truly on his own. He sits in the center of the cave, the harsh light shining on him, accentuating his loneliness. Did I perhaps get lost? He wonders aloud. It's starting to feel like an existential crisis in a dungeon. Now, Sejun's slowly losing it. He starts laughing maniacally, his mental state clearly starting to fray. "Ha ha ha ha," he chuckles to himself. At this point, it's all just absurd. A sudden beep from his phone snaps Sejun out of his crazed laughter. He's shocked. How is his phone working in this dungeon? Nothing else in this place seems to work. Looking at his phone, Sejun notices it's 6 miles. My alarm. It's been a whole day since I've been here. No network, but at least the alarm still works, he mutters, a sense of disbelief on his face. His stomach growls loudly, a reminder that he's been stuck in this cave with minimal food. "I'm hungry," he says, eyeing the meager groceries at his feet. Time to ration what little he has. Sejun takes out the groceries, inspecting his tiny supply with a mix of disappointment and hope. "Let's see what we've got here," he says, trying to make the most of it. Sitting on the stone platform, legs crossed, Sejun begins counting his supplies out loud. 1 bottle of water, 27 cherry tomatoes, 10 green onions, 7 sweet potatoes, and 1 washed apple. This is gonna be a long stay. "First, let's eat the apple," Sejun says with determination as he picks it up and takes a bite. His face lights up briefly as he savors the crisp fruit. At least something here is still good. Eyes closed in bliss, Sejun enjoys the apple like it's the finest meal he's ever had. Eating an apple in the morning is the best, so sweet. He sighs, feeling a little better for a moment, but the joy is short-lived. He looks at the core of the apple, still holding it in his hand, and sticks out his tongue in irritation. "Tsk. It's not enough," he mutters, clearly craving more. Sejun grabs a sweet potato next and begins munching away. The crunch is satisfying at least, anything to distract him from the weirdness of this whole situation. He smiles as he chews, eyes closing in delight. This is really good," he says, a bright aura around him as he savors the potato's flavor. Who knew survival rations could taste this decent? With another bite, he's impressed. So tasty. This chewy texture, crunchy feeling with a sweet taste, it's way more delicious than I expected. At least he's got some good food to survive on for now. "We always cook this, but I think it's okay to eat it raw sometimes," Sejun comments as he continues to munch on the sweet potato, surprised by how good it tastes even without cooking. His enjoyment quickly fades when he chokes on a piece, both hands reaching up to his throat in an effort to dislodge the stuck food. "Ugh, what the hell?" he says, the potato slipping from his hands as he coughs. Sejun grabs his last bottle of mineral water and takes a desperate gulp, slapping his chest as he swallows. "At least I've got water," he says, trying to ease the discomfort in his throat. Now lying back on the rock, Sejun stretches out like a star, arms and legs spread wide. A moment of relief after the chaos. His remaining groceries lie scattered around him, but for now, he's just done. "That was quite a good meal," Sejun mutters, still lying on the rock, his mind drifting as he reflects on the strange mix of emotions he's feeling, satisfaction, confusion, and a touch of hopelessness. Looking up at the opening of the cave, Sejun's face grows increasingly weary. How long am I supposed to stay here? He wonders aloud, the weight of his isolation settling in. Still sprawled on the rock, Sejun glances to his left. "I have to find a way out before I run out of food," he says with a note of urgency, trying to come up with a plan. Looking at his dwindling supplies, Sejun contemplates his situation. "I wonder how long I can last with this food," he thinks, trying to calculate just how much longer he can stretch his limited resources. Talking to himself in a quiet moment, Seijin murmurs, "If I'm not rescued, I might become a mummy." His tone is light, but the fear underlying it is unmistakable. He's starting to lose hope. Suddenly, Seijin jumps to his feet, his eyes filled with determination. "No! I don't want to die like this! This is a tower! It was my dream to get in here!" he shouts, newfound bravery and perseverance shining through. A thought strikes him, and his gaze shifts to the leftover apple core. Could it hold the key to his survival? Kneeling down with determination, Seijin begins digging a small hole in the ground. "Good," he mutters to himself, looking, satisfied with his progress. He places the apple core into the hole, his bare hands surprisingly efficient. "I'll plant this. Maybe something will grow. I've got to try," he thinks, taking his first step toward making this situation work. Next, he pulls apart the green onions, looking at their roots. "I've got 10 green onions. I'll use the leaves as food and plant the roots," Seijin decides, turning his meager supplies into potential sustenance. Watering the plants with the last of his bottled water, Seijin wonders aloud, "What should I drink later?" As he plants the tomatoes and sweet potatoes. He's officially become a survivalist. With a bright smile on his face, Seijin declares, "I'll do anything to survive. I will survive and wait until..." His optimism is a beacon in the midst of his isolation. Looking at his newly planted crops, Seijun's smile grows even wider. "You grow my fruits," he says, a sense of pride in his voice. "You're my future." Suddenly, a terrifying scream echoes through the cave. Seijin freezes, his sense of security shattered by the horrifying sound. Eyes wide with shock, Seijun whispers, "Monster? That was the sound of a monster, right? But they said monsters didn't exist on the first floor." Fear fills Seijun's face as he contemplates this new discovery. His mind goes blank, overwhelmed by the terrifying unknown. He looks up at the sky, a strange phenomenon catching his attention. "Blue moon," he mutters in disbelief. Seijun covers his ears, bowing his head to shield himself from the deafening screams. His discomfort and fear are palpable. Another scream fills the air, sending Seijun into a panic. His body trembles as his knees give way, collapsing to the ground in sheer terror. Still covering his ears, Seijun looks back at the sky and spots something massive soaring overhead. It looks like a dragon. His eyes had completely given up, like all hope and interest had packed their bags and left. He just muttered, "Black dragon," before everything went dark. Mid-word, the guy straight up fainted while saying, "So beautiful," collapsing. Like a romantic anime character in slow motion, he lay there, right next to his precious crops. The next panel flexes the onions he planted, now glowing blue as if they were kissed by a moonbeam or got sponsored by RGB lighting. Suddenly, his phone buzzes again. 3 days without a charge, and his nothing. Phone is still alive and well, built different. He groans and reaches for his phone like someone on a Monday morning. Staring at it, he blinks and mutters like a half-conscious zombie. "My head. How long was I down?" Then, shock. 2 days? I passed out for 2 whole days? I mean, same. But also, shout out again to the nothing phone. Still going strong. That's not a phone. That's a portable miracle. Next panel hits different. He's holding his back like a 70-year-old with a memory foam betrayal. Ugh. My waist. Pain is real. He plops down beside what appears to be a tree, groaning. "So tired. My whole body hurts. I've got 0 energy." "Same, King." Then he squints at that tree with a puzzled look. "Wait, what the... A tree?" Last time he checked, this was a cave, not a greenhouse. Plot twist. "Isn't this a green onion?" He nearly screams. The dramatic twist no one expected. Still stunned, he gawks at it. When did it grow this big? Like seriously, this green onion was giving Jack and the Beanstalk vibes. He tries to make sense of it like a National Geographic narrator. Maybe it's the tower's energy? I saw a documentary about how plants grow weird in different environments. Yeah, totally scientific. Now down on one knee like he's proposing to the dirt, he scours the ground. Maybe the others too. Sprouts. Glorious sprouts. His face lights up. Cool, 1, 2, 3, 52 of them. A crop miracle. But then, worry. He stares at the onion monsters. They won't get enough sunlight. In that shade. I better cut them off. Cutting them, however, was a different story. So thick. He's yanking like it's Thor's hammer, and he's definitely not worthy. Wiping sweat like a true farmer, holding his spoils, he finally finishes. Phew, I wonder what they taste like. Oh no, buddy. He chomps one, big bite, and immediately regrets everything. Smoke from his mouth, eyes crying, nose flared, face redder than rage mode. Literal fire erupts. That wasn't an onion. That was a spice demon. He races to the pond like his taste buds filed a complaint, splashing water everywhere, gasping, "What the? So spicy!" Congratulations, you grew nuclear onions. Sitting back, lips swollen, eyes distant, he mutters, with a straight face, "Weirdly, it doesn't hurt my stomach. Guess I'll eat this when I want something spicy." That's not confidence, that's chaos. Now he's holding ancient Tupperware, like a relic from the past. 10 years old, indestructible, probably why Tupperware went out of fashion. No one ever needed to buy another one. Inside it, miraculously fresh cherry tomatoes and a pumpkin sweet potato. This guy's fridge game is elite. He pops a cherry tomato in his mouth while sitting on a central rock formation with a ray of sunlight highlighting him like a divine snack break. 1. Eye closed, the other focused like a sniper. He gazes at the tomato with anime-level intensity. He uses the tomato to shield his eyes. The sun doesn't set in the tower. Dramatic tomato sunglasses. Okay. Flashback moment. The blue moon incident. When he passed out. Sometimes the sun hides behind the moon. We call it the blue moon. Thanks, Tower Wikipedia. He sets his food aside, still munching pumpkin, and thinks, but wait, the blue moon only happens on the 10th floor. I thought I was on the 1st. Flashback within a flashback. That dragon, that wasn't an illusion. Cut to aura-filled adventurers. Flashy mana overload. 10 years ago, when the tower appeared, the Phoenix Guild cleared the 37th floor. But info from 3037? Top secret stuff. Everything below 30, though? On YouTube. YouTube never fails. Floors 210, skeleton soldiers, floors 1120, goblins 2130, orcs, floor 31, rumors say spiders. Nope. Noping out of there. But dragons? Nada. No one said anything about dragons. No lizards, no komodos, not even a rogue iguana. Lying back on the rock, his face reads, "Where am I?" Like an existential emoji. Looking at the cave entrance, he mutters, "Maybe I'm on a floor no top hunter has ever reached." Lost, confused, and potentially famous. Then, drip. Something falls on his face. Water? Rain? He sits up, puzzled. Rain? But the tower usually has good weather. The next panel zooms toward the cave entrance. Something's there. Fear creeps in. Was that a monster? He starts to stand, and then a rabbit. A literal bunny stares down from above. Cute, yet suspicious. It drools. Either it's hungry or Seijin looks delicious. Hard to tell. Still staring up, Seijin blinks. A rabbit? Is that also a monster? Suddenly, the bunny launches itself down like a cannonball. Seijin's jaw drops. Be careful. It lands on his head. Perfectly. Like an acrobatic god of fluff, then jumps to the ground like it's nothing. No damage, just vibes. It heads straight for the green onions. Seijun's still in disbelief. How did it survive that fall? The rabbit turns and points to the green onions with intense interest. Sejun, being the cinnamon roll he is, asks, "You want to eat it?" The bunny nods like, "Yes, human, you understand me." He pulls a green onion with the strength of 1,000 farmers, presents it like a gift, and the bunny beams with joy. It munches the onion, clearly having the time of its life. Crunch, chew, delight. They sit on the rock together. Sejun asks, "Do you like it? You can have more. I've got a lot." The bunny, smiling and squeaking, says, "Yes, kind food god. More." Sejun glances at his field. "They grew that much already? I guess I'll have to harvest twice a day." The rabbit nods like a farming assistant. Suddenly, the bunny makes a strange sound. Loud, repetitive, messagey. It keeps going while staring at the cave entrance. Sejun's still confused. "Why are you yelling?" He follows the bunny's gaze. And bam, another bunny enters the stage. This one lands with a dramatic cloud of dust. Bunny entrance level. Epic. The first bunny dashes over. The second bunny gifts a farmer's hat and watering can to the first bunny. Now we see both rabbits. One in a farmer's hat, clearly male-coded, the other in an apron with ears down, clearly female-coded. Sejun is amazed. "Another rabbit?" he says as they both look up at him like, "Yes, human, we are here." Then, with the most genuine confusion, he asks, "Wait, are you two married?" The rabbits smile with the joy of a Hallmark movie and say yes, possibly with their minds. As Sejun stares, he thinks to himself, "Day 3 of being lost in a tower. I've adopted a married rabbit couple. This diary entry's gonna be wild." The next day, it was another gloriously sunny day, like the sun took a double shot of espresso. The green onions inside the cave were absolutely thriving, probably more successful than Sejun's love life. As expected by the laws of gender stereotypes in rabbit society, the female rabbit whipped out a pair of scissors and began harvesting green onions like a fluffy Edward Scissorhands. Meanwhile, the male rabbit, embracing his inner gardener, was out watering plants like Bob Ross with a watering can. Except, instead of happy little trees, it was hydrated little onions. Both rabbits worked joyfully, snipping, watering, humming a tune, and there's Sejun, just chilling on a rock in the corner like a lazy boss pretending to supervise. The rabbits radiated such productivity it could fuel a factory. The female kept harvesting, and the male rabbit, now done watering, played delivery boy with bundles of green onions. Sejun, still doing absolutely nothing, muttered, "They're a great couple, huh? How did this even happen?" Sounding less sad and more like a single guy third-wheeling in his own home. Flashback. The rabbits once begged Sejun to let them live with him in the cave. His reaction was the human equivalent of the spinning blue screen of confusion. "Wait, you want to live here? Why? There's no Netflix." The rabbits responded with the deadliest weapon in their arsenal, supreme cuteness. Their eyes sparkled with "please adopt us" energy, and Sejun's emotional defenses started crumbling. The pink sparkle aura intensified. It was like an anime moment where you just know the protagonist is about to fold like laundry, and fold he did. Cuteness crit-hitted his heart. Clutching his chest dramatically, Sejun gasped. Too cute, like he'd just been KO'd in a dating sim. With tearful bunny eyes waiting for a reply, Sejun caved faster than a paper umbrella in a typhoon. Still clutching his heart, he said, "Fine, you can stay." But Sejun, trying to look cool and failing, crossed his arms and said in his best mafia boss voice, "But nothing's free. I might let you stay if you help on the farm. All you gotta do is cut green onions." But before he finished, the rabbits launched into him with a hug attack so powerful it knocked the smugness right out of him. His poker face crumbled again. Sejun, now sitting like a confused sage on his rock throne, mumbled, "It feels like I'm being emotionally manipulated. But, meh." His weakness? Fluffy cuteness. While the female rabbit sorted freshly cut onions and the male watered everything like he owned a plant TikTok account, Sejun asked, "Hey, those tools you're carrying, are they items?" Then he narrated like a YouTube unboxing channel. "The spray bottle the husband has, it's magical, unlimited water, great for plants, and putting out your own burning pants. And the wife, Sejun said, she's got an apron pocket that breaks the laws of physics. Infinite. Tools, it's like Doraemon but with vegetables. Sejun, eyes glittering like a kid in a toy store, looked at the husband rabbit and whined, I'm so jealous. I want gear like that. The husband rabbit turned slowly, sensing Sejun's envy like a chill down his spine. Suddenly, Sejun noticed the entire green onion plot was harvested and neatly stacked. You're done? He asked, shocked. His productivity bar shriveled in shame. He hopped off his rock, bent over with dad energy, and said, Dry the onions you just cut. Oh, and still no updates on the sweet potatoes. They're on strike or something. Kneeling like a dramatic detective at a crime scene, he inspected the cherry tomatoes. The sprouts are bigger now. Is this the power of love? Or bunnies? But then, something felt off. He turned and saw the rabbits whispering and holding hands with worried little faces. Both rabbits stared at him with big, trembling eyes and clasped hands like they were about to tell him the cave is haunted. Sejun nodded solemnly. All right, he said, understanding absolutely nothing but pretending he did. Then, in a burst of cringe, he gave a thumbs up with the cheesiest, sparkliest smile known to man. Somewhere in the world, a dad joke was born. The rabbits exploded into joyful hops, eyes squeezed shut in ecstasy. It was so pure it could cleanse a sinner. They began chatting excitedly, probably plotting their next act of cuteness-fueled conquest, while Sejun watched in awe. Then suddenly, they bolted off at warp speed. Sejun just blinked. What? Did I miss a memo? From a distance, he saw them whispering like mischievous kids planning a prank on a substitute teacher. What are you two up to? He wondered. With blazing determination, the husband grabbed a spade from his wife's Mary Poppins pocket and started digging where she pointed. He dug like his life depended on it, while she stood proudly cheering him on like a coach at a carrot-eating contest. Then the wife pulled out a handmade flower wreath, crafted with all the grace of Pinterest meets bunny chaos. She placed it above what looked like a wooden door. Wait, were they building a house? The husband, drenched in sweat and drool, collapsed dramatically while the wife proudly presented their bunny-sized Airbnb. Sejun approached with the expression of a guy whose friends just bought a house before him. Whoa! You made that so fast! He gave the exhausted husband a thumbs up. You're amazing! The husband, barely conscious, returned it. Easy job, he croaked. Suddenly, a hand landed on the husband rabbit's shoulder. Sejun squinted. Uh-oh. It was the wife, rabbit, with that look. Sparkly eyes, mischievous grin. This was no ordinary well done. With one eye closed and a wink that could melt glaciers, she pointed at their brand new home. Her intentions? Not safe for onion fields. The husband rabbit backed up, shielding himself with crossed arms. Not like this! But the wife was on a mission. She yanked him by the paw and dragged him inside, singing a cheerful tune. The husband reached for Sejun like, Help me! But Sejun just waved blankly. Godspeed, bro! Slam! The door shut. The message was clear. Do not disturb. Sejun, still holding his wave, stood frozen. Ha! Good luck, husband rabbit, he muttered with the dead eyes of someone who hasn't been hugged in years. His smile twitched into a frown. He looked like he was about to cry, scream, or build his own love nest out of despair. He walked away like a rejected rom-com protagonist. It's boring being single, he sighed, then flopped dramatically onto a pile of dried green onion leaves. But, thanks to the rabbits, he muttered, I got help with farming, and a bed made of onions. He smiled. Life was good, until physics betrayed him. A small sizzle sounded beside him. Hot! Hot! Sejun leapt up, smoke rising from his back like grilled bacon. The sunlight refracted through a mineral bottle and set the onion bed on fire. He hit the ground and rolled like a panicked onion burrito. My bad, so hot! What the hell was that? Crawling to safety, he looked back at his crispy bed and realized the bottle focused sunlight like a laser directly onto the dried onion leaves. Sejun squints at the sun, then at the plastic bottle beside the dried onion leaves. He mutters, "Plastic bottle?" like he stumbled upon alien technology. The sunlight refracts dramatically, heating the crispy onion leaves like nature's microwave oven. Suddenly, zap, a lightning bolt of inspiration hits his brain. Sejun's face lights up like a shonen protagonist unlocking a secret power. "I've got it!" he practically shouts, mentally cueing the opening theme of Survivor Onion Edition. With serial killer seriousness, he plants both hands on a rock like it's a dramatic press conference. "I'm in the Black Tower restaurant, but I refuse to lose hope." Cue ominous background music. The onions are the entree, hope is the dessert. Cut to vlog mode. He's now talking like a YouTuber. "Hey guys, welcome back. Fortunately, I had dried green onions and a plastic water bottle. Smash that like button." He holds both items like they're ancient relics. With anime sparkles in his eyes, Sejun raises the bottle, channeling his inner Bear Grylls. "If I angle the sunlight just right, I can start a fire. Just like episode, How to Survive in the Wild with absolutely no idea what you're doing." Fast forward minutes. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. He's sweaty, teary-eyed, and throws the bottle and onions dramatically like they betrayed him. "It doesn't work," he sobs, betrayed by basic physics. He drops to his knees and punches the ground like a failed anime villain. "It only smolders. Why won't you burn?" he cries. The onions continue to not care. He sits in despair, staring into the pile of onions like they personally offended him. "I know this is how to start. A fire," he insists, as if yelling at leaves will suddenly make them combust. Just as he contemplates life, smoke starts to curl up from the pile. Is that a flicker? A whisper? A promise of fire? Sejun stares at the smoke like it's a ghost. "Why is it now starting?" he mumbles in genuine confusion. He did nothing different, but, hey, fire's gonna fire. Smash cut to the husband, Rabbit, stepping out of his burrow looking thoroughly exhausted and suspiciously satisfied. He's holding his wife like they just finished, a dance marathon. The rabbit spots Sejun kneeling like a caveman who just discovered fire. Smoke wafts up as if Sejun is summoning spirits. Minecraft noises intensify. Sejun is now aggressively blowing on the pile of leaves like he's inflating a life raft. "Please, please, please!" he begs, a man on the edge. The rabbit couple approaches. The wife is confused. The husband's nodding. Like, bro's really trying to speedrun the Stone Age. Sejun turns to them. "Rabbit couple?" Sejun begs them like a panicked camp counselor. "Can you blow some wind on the leaves?" The rabbits look at each other, shrug, and agree, with a motivational, "Let's do this." Now it's a team effort. The rabbits are sweating, precision blowing on the pile like trained fire sommeliers. Every puff is serious business. "Please, please, please," Sejun chants like he's praying to the fire god of Onion Top Mountain. Holding the plastic bottle to catch the sunlight again, Sejun directs it toward the leaves. With the rabbits still giving their all, it's the most dramatic moment involving salad ingredients ever filmed. The pile of dried onions bursts into flames. Victory! The power of friendship and biodegradable kindling prevails. "It worked! It's on fire!" Sejun yells, eyes sparkling. The rabbits stare in shock. Fire! Real fire! They just invented civilization. He eyes the nearby unharvested green onions with a suspicious grin. Then, he mutters ominously, a new plan is forming. With all the grace of a campfire chef, he places a green onion stalk right on top of the flames. "Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're grilling vegetables." Sejun hums with joy, carefully roasting the onion like it's a Wagyu steak. The rabbits sit across him, completely mesmerized by his Gordon Ramsay moment. Holding up his grilled green onion, he says with solemn satisfaction, "This should be enough." like he's offering it to a sacred shrine. Seijun goes full cooking tutorial. Peel the burned skin like this. Ooh, hot. His tongue sticks out like a cartoon cat eating lava. Spicy, but worth it. He opens his mouth like he's about to swallow a dragon egg and prepares for the ultimate taste test. Chomp. He takes a heroic bite, chewing dramatically like he's about to declare war or achieve enlightenment. The rabbits freeze. Seijun is trembling. His pupils shake. Is this poison? The rabbits lean in, deeply concerned. Is this how he dies? Then, sparkles fly. His eyes burst with light. Sweet! He screams. Like sugar is raving in my head. Seijun has ascended. In his mind, a wild green horse is dancing in a meadow of dreams. My mouth feels like a wild horse running through minty heaven, he declares. FDA not approved. Without hesitation, he grabs another green onion. Into the fire it goes. So tasty, so delicious, he chants like a madman with a green addiction. The rabbits glance at each other. They don't need to speak. One look says, it all. We gotta try this. The husband rabbit grabs a stalk and mimics Seijun's grilling technique like a student honoring his master. Once cooked, he shares it with his wife. They both bite in, and boom, eyes sparkle like anime characters. Achieving true love. It's fireworks in their mouths, literal fireworks in the background. This isn't food, it's an emotional experience. Michelin star onions confirmed. The trio, Seijun and the bunny couple, sit happily around the fire, surrounded by harvested and growing green onions. Seijun gestures grandly. Eat more. Help yourselves. And as the rabbits nod excitedly, Seijun writes in his diary, I finally filled my stomach with warm food and passed out like a well-fed onion farmer.